All right. So here we go. Just a little bit of a heads up. This video is not going to be edited. This is not scripted, as I'm sure you'll find out very quickly. And this video is not meant to be an official resource for anything relating to brain fog, post COVID, and whatever you want to call it. This is literally just me kind of half ranting, spewing my thoughts, and just sharing my story into a video because this has, as the title implies, this has been going on for 6 months. I was working on a scripted version of this video, and I might still release that depending on whatever this ends up turning into over how long it takes to record. But, like, uh, guys, to put it bluntly, the last 6 months have been the last 6, 7 months ever since I recovered from COVID have been the roughest, like the roughest time of my life. If second to anything, only second to 2020 as a whole. For people who all know what happened last year. Uh, so back up real quick. I had COVID at the end of 2020. It was throughout November. I was just out of commission. I had COVID. I recovered either late that month or early December. And at first it was, very hooray, it's finally gone because when I had it, it was like, oh my God. Like I was so like defeated. I was in bed all the time. I was so tired. And then I just felt sick. And eventually I was able to function, but it took a while to get there. And I started, once it was gone, uh, I don't remember if they were symptoms I had during when I had COVID. Um, but they were symptoms that I definitely had after I recovered. And you're going to learn a lot of this that okay, one of the main issues you're going to realize is just how bad my memory is. That's one of the effects of everything I'm about to discuss. So if things get hazy, that's just kind of why. So, or I might as well say right now, this video is literally just I I'm very rambly. That's literally more every weird thing that's coming out of my mouth, my stuttering, my like losing my train of thought, all of that is because of this. And it's really hard to talk about. It's really hard to talk about anything anymore, but I'm making this video because this has been such a huge hurdle for my life, and it's only gotten substantially worse over the last 6 months. And nobody really knows anything about it. That's the real problem. I'm trying to find a way to get through it or just anything, but there's just a lot of not knowing anything because nobody really has answers. Because long COVID, I might as well introduce it first. So COVID, roughly anywhere up to 10% of people that have COVID get something called long COVID. And what long COVID is, um, it's kind of like there's not really any like real definitions for any of this, but essentially it's when certain symptoms that may or have been around when you had COVID or other symptoms kind of just follow you extensively after you've already recovered for an indefinite amount of time. And there's all the standard ones like lost of taste, no like smelling, uh, like just being tired, and then there's the really really bad one called brain fog. And in my case, and from what I'm guessing for some other people, I have no idea, but brain fog is kind of like the crux of what is making long COVID what it feels like because there's like everything else which you can live with, but brain fog is it's neurological. It which considering you use your brain to live, you use it to just operate on a daily basis. The kind of having something that hinders your ability to do that is going to affect everything else in your life. So, what is brain fog? Brain fog is like literally the most impossible thing to describe ever. It's not something you're going to notice from somebody on the outside, like directly. Like the only way you can tell that I have it outside of me telling you is I have trouble articulating a lot at this point with it because it's gotten so bad. I have trouble talking. I lose my train of thought constantly. I have serious memory issues, and I'm tired, so tired, all the damn time. But that might be its own thing. So with that, brain fog. Uh, what it essentially is like the deterioration of your ability to of your mental processes. Like it's like take everything you do with your brain and then put a really big throttle on it. It's again, this is like the most impossible thing to describe. You can look it up if you want, but basically it's like there's this feeling of being disconnected with yourself and also reality in a sense. There's a severe it's impossible to focus. Your memory is completely shot. You have trouble remembering things and you have trouble recalling things. Um there's also just like the real you struggle to do like to just basically do anything your brain does. um your sense of awareness is just goes away, and uh just all these things that your brain's responsible for, and it literally feels like it's fogged over because you're having to like push through this confusing mess of unknownness to try and do anything. This is going to be a very rambly video, and I honestly, the best I can probably hope to achieve is just help you guys understand how confusing, how literally confusing having brain fog is. Because as hard as it is to describe, it is easily as confusing to just live with and try and work around. I don't know. This is something you guys might have to look up, but it's like it literally feels like fog in your brain. If you've ever been awake for like over 48 hours, imagine that, but it's every second of your life, and it's just that feeling as it continually gets worse and worse. You feel like you need more sleep, and you kind of really do. I when I was sleeping as much as like I felt like I needed, I was going from 7 to 8 hours to like 10 or 11. I was sleeping. I don't really have the time, or I don't want to sleep that much right now. But that's kind of what I feel like I need. Uh, it's I don't know. It's also like 3 a.m. when I'm recording this, so this is kind of just like very all over the place. Being tired only really amplifies everything. Um, so just trying to continue explaining what it is. I don't this video just like me struggling to just talk to you guys. This is probably the most raw evidence you're gonna get of what I'm trying to comprehend. I don't know what the reception of this video is gonna be. I honestly don't know. I still want to release the final one, probably that because it's more of like a clean, concise explanation of all of this and my experience that I'm trying to work on, because I'm able to put my thoughts on a page, not just want to go rambling. But I've gotten to that point in my life where I just feel like I need to say something, and like say something loudly, and this is pretty much the only way I know how to do that. So moving away from trying to describe what it is, because I really don't know how else to describe it. It's well, maybe my point is it's but like you get the idea of what it does, and it's just really confusing to live with, and it affects every single aspect of your life, your ability to process emotions. It creates a lot of anxiety and a lot of just like depression, everything. But the real hard part of it is it's so new. Like, no, brain fog apparently isn't new, but COVID induced brain fog, specifically COVID-19 induced brain fog, is like holy heck a wow. So I don't know how rare it is. As like to my severity, because this is all about like my experience with this. I don't know how rare this kind of this like my experience like my severity is, but it's it is literally the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with. So when I first started, and I've gotten to the point where I'm also like so used to living with brain fog now. Like I forgot what it was like not to have this handicap on my mental ability. Uh, in uh, fuck. When I first started out, I when I first started out, brain fog, from what I remember, kind of really wasn't a thing until like the later third or quarter of my day. Like when kind of like when I was chilling down and then I was going to bed. I had school, I whatever. I was fine in the morning, but once like mid afternoon hit, I started kind of developing that, and it's like it got it gets worse throughout the day, kind of like as I run out of energy. That first several hours early in my life, early in the day, is the most important because I function normally. But and I kind of thought, this is something that's probably just going to go away with time, and I was wrong. I was completely wrong. That was December. It is now almost June of 2021, and it has only gotten worse. I can't tell you how much worse, but significantly worse, to the point where I'm genuinely afraid of what permanence this might have, or like just like if it keeps getting worse, and I don't find a way to just stop or get over it, figure out what's causing it, and like how to treat it. It's already beginning to like, yeah, okay, no, months ago, like 2 months ago, 2 or 3 months ago, it was already like impairing my ability to live a life, to function, to keep a job, to go to school, and to run YouTube, to just have a life. And it's only getting worse, and it's chipping away at my ability to do things like, uh for instance, make videos. I mean, part of it's because I've started taking part of it's because I started taking a class that's like condensed into like 4 weeks versus normally being 15. It's a very fast paced, but I've pretty much just like a few weeks ago, or I don't remember how long ago, kind of just stopped making content for my other channel on the weekly basis that I had been, just because I just didn't feel capable of it, or I just felt too tired or unmotivated. I'm still on MCO. I'm just not doing a whole lot. So I don't know what's going on with this channel. Currently, I think I'm still spaced out enough that I can make content on it. Although I do have this whole big thing going on next next month, where I'm gonna have to move again, because landlord and renovations and whatever. Even though there's like a million problems with trying to move in the summer, pandemic, and just all of that. Surprisingly, I want to say financial, like soft financial issues, like those ones, like the ability to like pay the entry fee, that's whatever. But like hard financial issues, those are still a problem. But those are kind of almost like the least of our problems, as long as it's within our price range. That's not the problem. The problem is like, just trying to find a place, like in where I currently am, in a reasonable distance. There's like two places that we could afford, and I don't think we're gonna get either of them. It's one of those. There's just so much going on in life right now. It literally feels like 2020 again. Uh, Not quite as bad, but brain fog just, it amplifies everything, because you can't handle as much. So therefore, everything feels more stressful, impactful. I don't even remember where I was going with that. My point is, it's just, guys, I'm sorry, I don't know what this video is. I'm working on the scripted one that's gonna hopefully explain all this a lot better. But I kind of just need to come out and say that if I end up taking a break like throughout the next month, or whenever, if I just seem off, I'm kind of in that point where it's like I'm crawled into a corner trying to fight this in life, and a lot and very few people in the world know about it, talk about it. There's a lot of articles, but it's not exactly common news compared to, oh, here's the vaccine, oh, here's everybody that's dying, oh, here's the country that's, doing the best, doing the worst. Brain fog's kind of just been, or not brain fog, long COVID's kind of just been left to the wayside. And I mean, I don't know how many other people it's affecting quite as bad as I am, but it's a serious thing that needs more attention. And they're all starting studies on it, but and I don't know how long it's gonna be until we have answers, but I I'm kind of just saying this now because it's like, if this continues at the rate that it is, my life just a few months from now could be severely hampered, to a point where I don't even want to think about, like beyond YouTube, just my ability to operate my life. It's just kind of going away, like everything else has. A good way to gauge where I'm kind of like gauging like, what I feel like, what capacity, like what percentage capacity I'm operating at. And I remember a while ago I was saying, no, I feel like I'm operating like 30%. Right now I feel like I'm operating at 20%, like on average. The longer I stay awake, as I'm starting to realize right now, even though I've only been awake for like three, not even 12 hours. Well, no, a little bit more than 12 hours. I've been awake for about 13, 14 hours. And the longer you stay awake, the worse it gets. So like right now in this sport at this moment, I feel like I'm operating at a 15, maybe a 10% of what I should be. And I know a lot of this is going to sound really dramatic, but I, it's hard for me to talk about because it really is just this bad. Like I I don't even know why I'm entirely making this video. I think it's kind of like a short term version of the other video I'm working on, where I just that I need to talk about this, guys, because like it's hampering my ability, and it's kind of just like I want to tell somebody, so I have a platform. I might as well. It makes me. It's that sense of like, hey, I all of a sudden I don't feel like I'm alone because people understand what's going on, what I'm going through, and I don't feel like as isolated or as lonely as just fighting this, because I really I the, it's so hard to just explain, understand, or even just live with. Like I I can only do so much on an unscripted video as to try and explain what it is, what it's like living with it. The best evidence is just me trying to do that. Maybe that's why I'm doing this. I don't know why I'm doing this. Maybe it's just because me trying and just struggling, like finding this impossibility of trying to just explain what it is to you in a straight face. Maybe that's the best I can do, as to just kind of explain what the hell this is. I I don't. I'm almost at the 20-minute mark, and I don't want to make this too much longer. So I think I've kind of already said everything I want to say. My point is, I haven't decided yet, but if this continues to get worse, I will quite be taking a break from YouTube more than likely. Like, I don't know how long of one. It really just depends on how much worse this gets and how long it takes until we have answers or treatment or whatever. I have been to the doctor recently. I didn't see anything in like my blood work or anything that was too shocking, which is also scary because it's like we genuinely don't know what causes it. It could be all neurological. I have no idea. This is unlike anything I've ever experienced before. And my mom had it too. I don't know where hers is. And there's other people. There's I'm not just look around. This is a thing. And I don't I'm really sorry that I'm kind of just, making this video as is. I really should it's kind of just like throwing my standard of quality out the window because this video is literally like the antithesis of a recorded video. It is rambling like nonsense. But I'm just trying to illustrate a point in the rawest form I can, because when I sit down to make a script, I'm essentially just taking my rambling thoughts, slowing them down, and trying to condense them into an organized, video that makes sense. But when I don't do that, I just ramble, and I have a lot more like of a raw explanation of my points, but they're like covered behind a lot of like stuttering and confusing talk, which uh, uh is kind of only amplified right now given current predicaments. But guys, I'm gonna cut it off here. This is I just I want to explain what this is. I want to explain to you that I like how much it's just affected me over the last however many months, because it's getting bad, and I am, to be honest, like terrified, just terrified. So maybe this is kind of just more for like a historical archive, but uh the 3400 of you that have subbed to this channel, I owe you guys a lot. It's really awesome being able to grow as a YouTuber. It's honestly a dream come true. So I'm hoping I can get through this sooner than more than later, and kind of keep this growth going. So yeah, I'm just gonna stop here, guys, because I've either lost all my trains of thought, or I just don't know what to say anymore. I think I've covered everything. So I just wanted to say, I mean, as cheesy as it is, I love you all, and uh, I hope y'all are doing better than I am right now. I hope y'all are, fighting hard, and hopefully I can join you soon enough. I'll see you guys around, okay? Love you all.